Hi, Ariel.
Hi, Hiroshi. Nice meeting you.
Yeah, thank you for your time.
Okay, no problem. Welcome.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Where, in Buenos Aires, it is really opposite side from Tokyo, which is already, autumn, right?
Yes, we are entering. Well, we're in the we're autumn. Yes, we are in autumn.
Uh-huh. In autumn season, I'm afraid to ask you that the pandemic is getting serious or not?
Well, in Argentina, here the local authorities have taken measures really in a really early stage of the pandemic. And on March 20, local authorities have taken measure really early. We only have 6,300 cases so far, and 300 deaths.
I see.
300 deaths so far. And so the pandemic is not spreading so fast as in many other countries.
So, could staying home, you have to stay home?
I have to stay home. Everybody's staying home here. The authorities have taken the measures of only the people who are working in public health and private health institutions like doctors and nurses and everybody else involved in those activities, they can go to work. Everybody else who's working on
home.
Everybody else well in what the industry of the food industry and everything like that, they call it the essentials jobs.
Essential jobs, yes.
Essential jobs, they can go to work, but everybody else had to stay home. Now they open it up just a little bit during the last week. They slowly are letting small businesses in neighborhoods to open, but major malls or major shops, they are not open yet. And in order to circulate through the streets, you need to have a permission. So the quarantine here is still going on, and so far it's going okay.
I see.
It's going okay.
Where you are involved in the TV business, right?
Yes.
So you mentioned something about the future of the TV in this pandemic. If you have any kind of a concern, please tell me.
We don't know how it's going to end up. What we do know is that lots of people, the productions are all stopped. There's no production around the world going on right now. Nobody's shooting. Nobody's shooting anything than news. Everybody's shooting news. So what we do know is that the entertainment productions are not going on, and a lot of people are really consuming entertainment contents through different platforms like Netflix or any other platforms around the world.
Japan too.
And that content is about to, people are about to say, okay, I just saw everything. What else can I see? Because there's lots of people in their homes watching TV and watching entertainment content, which is not going on productions, and they're emptying all those stock of content production. But as we don't know when are we going to be able to go back into production, actually shooting for different formats, we don't know how it's going to end up now. So we are currently we're trying to develop formats for this kind of logic, like you on your home, me on my home. What type of program can we do with that technology? So that's what we are trying to do. Your
work is more like a production side?
I work in I I've been working as a director and as a videographer for more than 25 years. And currently I am working in a production company in the international department, developing formats for trying to develop formats for the new TV.
I understand. Where, yeah, Japan too, because a TV station are really suffering about content issue because of they can't create it because everybody has to stay home.
Yes, the same is happening all around the world. And what is happening also all around the world is that the business itself, the industry, it's in trouble because the companies are not advertising as much as they could before because their budgets they had to be redesigned. So it's we don't know how it's going to come.
Well, in case of Japan, of course, there are always battlefield between internet and TV, and also like a cable and original TV stations,
Yes, of course. That issue has been going on for 4 years. Over the last few years, all TV stations are just cable stations or traditional air TV is they have been trying to transform themselves, trying to keep up with what's going on with the internet.
Yeah.
And one of the things is
then pandemic, hit another kind of problem. So kind of
yes.
a tangled web right now.
What? Excuse me?
Sorry, a kind of difficult time anyway.
Yes, it's very difficult time. It is.
I see. Where, talking about the news, I'm afraid to ask you, in Japan, almost all news is just corona pandemic. International.
Well, the same happens here.
Is that right?
Same happens here. Yes, I think it's the same all around the world. There's only one major concern for every single person on earth. It's when is this thing going to be over? Not the quarantine itself, but when is it going to be able to go back to normal? What is going to be back? What is going to be normal again? Is it going to be like before? No. I think no. I think that normal is going to change. So I don't know. I think it's a major concern for everybody. If you turn on TVs here, almost everything is coronavirus related. Everything is coronavirus related.
And
so
once pandemic is getting better, that case, do you have any plan in your mind? If you can say something like, of course, there are a lot of confidentiality.
Plan?
I understand. But if you have any
personal plan, you mean like in a personal way or just a job? What are you
kind of, I tell you like production. As a production, do you have any idea? Like a vague, it's fine. It's not a detail.
A vague idea how it's going to be. I don't know. They have been there are some places they have been trying to develop, different protocols to go back into production with different measures to take, like, social distancing on set, bring your own food. There are some different protocols going around the world. I think I just saw that in Uruguay, they shot a TV commercial with this protocol. But I don't know how it came out with that.
Everything is in a mist, in a vague right now.
Everything is in a mist. Yes, everything is in a mist.
I see.
As you said.
Talking about your personal life, you are staying home, but you are a creative guy, so you have a lot of energy. So how you are adjusting yourself?
Well, it's different. It's difficult. I have a small kid, as you saw. I have a bigger kid. I have she's only 6 years old. She's starting school, and school is home now, and we are the teachers, and it's very difficult. We are not teachers. My wife is, so it's very difficult to try to keep up with the activities the school sends, and there's a lot of things we have to do here at our home, to keep up with the school, to make like everybody else, make the food, prepare lunch, then
teleworking, you mean?
Yeah.
I see. So you can coordinate between the personal life and the business life inside the house?
It's difficult. It's very difficult. Because there's it was difficult before, the borderline between personal life and the work. It was already mixed. But still, I had to go to the office, then come back. Maybe I had to do something, but when I come back home, it's home. I had to go there, buy something, or I can go run here, go running, which I like, and I'm not doing it. I'm trying to run at home. It's crazy. But nowadays, there's almost no limit. Like, I wake up and I already opening up the computer, see all the emails I am receiving, answering emails and trying to work. And the same at the end of the day, it's almost 9 o'clock at night, and I'm still working on something. And I go eat, and then come back to the computer. So personal life, and the job life, the work life are mixed together, and there's no limit, and it's difficult.
It's a global issue right now. Interesting.
Yes.
Do you have any vision through this pandemic? As a professional person, do you have any vision in the future?
Personal vision.
Or as a professional, or whatever.
It's difficult to see through what's going to happen in 6 months. We don't know how it's going to be in 6 months, our life. We don't know how it's gonna come, how it's gonna develop into something we don't know. I think nobody knows. There are some people who can predict, who can say that they can have different prediction models, but we don't know how it's going to end up. So it's every day. We learn something from what we did 2 weeks ago, and personally, I'm hoping that maybe I'm hoping that this pandemic can change things into better in the future. I don't know if that's going to be possible, but I was listening yesterday to an interview to the former president of Brazil. His name is Lula da Silva.
Sure.
He has been imprisoned for 1.5 years for a trial that they couldn't prove what they were alleging that he did. But besides that, he said that during First World War, Germany spent 11 times their own GDP into war. Yes. And he was asking himself, how is it possible that leading nations cannot do the same in order to fight this coronavirus which is affecting the whole world? How is it possible that he was saying, how is it possible that it was okay to spend as much money for war, but it's not okay to spend it in order to fight this virus? So I think that was
that's problem, right? Contradiction.
Yeah, it's a contradiction.
Tell me, like your neighbor, just I had a conversation with a lady living in Sao Paulo. She said, of course, Brazilian economy was terribly going down, and then dollar is so strong and everything is in chaos, she said. And Argentina, right now, it's all right? Basically,
no.
No?
No, the economy is not right. The economy in Argentina was not all right before pandemic. The economy in Argentina over the last years has not been all right. We had in December, we had a 4-year term that ended up with the last government. It was a government that took a lot of debt, and before pandemic was already.
Sorry, like a Brazil, of course, people chose quite a controversial president right now, and
yes.
And globally speaking, like a lot of such kind of little bit right-wing shift happened inside the globe, these 4 years. And then, how do you think about the future in the kind of this pandemic, solve this puzzle, or like are there any kind of new integration or even division will be started?
It's difficult to say. I don't know really what to think. It's difficult to say. The pandemic already started a division. There's no more. I don't know how is it in Japan or here in Argentina. Borders are closed. Nobody can leave the country. Nobody can enter the country. Actually, inside borders are closed. I cannot go to another province. I cannot go into another city without a permission. So that means that it's closed. It's closed. If this thing goes on time, eventually it's going to change. It is going to change the things like it was before. I think we are not going to come back like it was before. I think the globalization has changed. This pandemic has changed globalization some way. I don't know in which way it's going to come out, but it has already changed.
So last question. So through that kind of mist, inside the mist, and last question, do you have any message to the world or to Japan? Well, if you have any messages?
Any message? I don't know. I don't know. What can I say is try to stay safe. Try to stay at home if you can. If you're lucky enough to stay home and you personally have some savings and you can live from those savings and stay home, do it until there's a vaccine, until there's a possible solution for this pandemic.
I understand.
I don't know. Every day I go to bed and I think that you are living in a kind of a movie. How many movies have been done of a future that is going to be terrible, and I think we are living in that movie, and it's odd. It's very odd to think like that. It's very odd. I don't know. I'm reluctant to think about how it's going to be tomorrow.
I understand, but anyway, please stay healthy, please. All right, and with the family, I hope your family stay healthy too. And,
okay, thank you so much.
Okay, and I hope that we can talk more later again.
Okay.
Right. Thank you very much. Okay,
thank
goodbye.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
はい、ですね、ブラジルの前の元大統領とか、いろいろとですね、要人とかにもインタビューをする、テレビ関係のジャーナリストですね、ブエノスアイレスからの声を聞きました。なんと言ってもね、やはりですね、洞察が深いなと思いましたよね。いろんなことが過去と同じように進むことはこれからはないだろうと。 ただ、本当に全てのことがわからないと。非常に正直なね、気持ちですよね。今、彼自身もですね、自宅で、待機しながら、仕事を続けていて、そういう中で新しいニュースをやったり、テレビを作ったりするということの難しさということもね、もう体験しているというふうな話ですよね。子供さんがちょっと出てきたりしてね、非常にリアルな感じになったんですよ。実際のインタビューの時はね。でも、そのステイホームという中でね、どうやって仕事をしているかと。本当に気がついたら一日終わっちゃうと、仕事をしながら子供の面倒を見たり、いろんなことしながらね、一日が終わっちゃうということですが、将来が見えないということについてはね、本当に率直な、ジャーナリストらしい、発言でした。さてと、次はまた、別の国に行ってみたいと思います。